Alright, good afternoon. This is Nukemarine again. We're back with part 8 of the how to use dramas to learn Japanese or any language. In part 8, what I will be going over is how to now, we had already shown how to use subtitles to generate something in order to be imported into Anki. Now I'm going to go over the steps on how to set up Anki in order to now import your dramas to make for flashcard purposes. And next part I should be going over some study and review method. I believe that should be the end of the entire series for this, and I can go on to a new series. Alright, so let's start off. Here we are, we got Anki. This is my deck right here. What I would be doing is this right here, the sentence method, and importing it. But I decided what I will do is I will show you how to start from scratch using just Anki in order to make your own cards. That way I don't have to load up a sample deck for download. And plus this is useful in that it gives you the practice to be comfortable with using Anki for setting up specialized decks based on your needs. So first things first, for Anki, make sure if we can download a shared plugin. Now the plugins to be useful are same as before, was the right here is the Japanese support. Download that. You don't have to start over yet. It'll ask you to reset, but the next thing you want to make sure to get is the regenerate reading field. Reason being for this is what it'll do is it'll take your Japanese readings and then convert them into furigana in the reading field. And it'll do it in bulk. And this is great because it's almost like you're reading it with the, I guess, what is it, Ruby text upon top. So you got the readings in addition to the kanji. Lastly, I don't know if it'll be too useful for you right now, but I think the audio download extension, okay, actually I'm probably wrong. There's one called audio download, and I can't see it right. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's the one by third at tland.pl. Reason why you download that is it's going to be just because it's something a little extra I've added, and it could be useful for later on. The idea being is if you got a vocabulary word, it can download the pronunciations for it and for you to use for later. Okay, so those are the extensions. What you do is click on it, click OK, and then reset. So let's say, presume that we did that. Alright, now, instead of starting from this, we're going to do a new. Okay, add new material, whatever. First things first, save it as something. Save as, shoot, I don't know, Japanese dramas. Sure. Japanese dramas. Okay, so Japanese dramas. Now, you could go straight to add material. That doesn't do you much good. First thing we need to do is set up the deck. So let's go with tools, settings, preferences. Isn't too much here. You can set the savings on what your password is. So this should be the same for all your decks. So that's no big difference there. But what about the settings of your deck? Okay, what I usually do is models and properties. Synchronize. I like to synchronize this deck. Japanese dramas. I'm going to unclick that right now. I don't need to synchronize it for myself, but you would want to click that. For advanced, again, that means if you missed it and it's a young card, less than 20 days spacing, you'd see it in 10 minutes. Again, if it's mature, if it's more than 20 days spacing, what I like to do, I set this to 720. That's 12 hours. That means that it's a more mature card. It's something that you've had in long-term memory, but for some reason, so what I like to do is give it 12 hours, or maybe the next day, so I know that, hey, I didn't really remember that, or maybe I just had a brain fart and I just needed to remember it for later. Apologies for saying brain fart. I've been in the military too long. Failure multiplier, I like to use 1.10. That's just the spacing of how far to space the failure. Initial intervals, I keep these the same. Show fail cards early. This means that if it's at the end of the review and you still got 10 minutes left, it'll still show all your fail cards, so you're not waiting around just to look at the ones that are due. Maximum fail cards 20. Start leech. I unsuspend this right here. Suspend leech. I don't want to suspend. I want them marked, but I do set my threshold low. I like to know what my leeches are, and I'll go into that for study methods later. Okay, so that's the properties of the deck. Next thing we need to do is actually go back to deck properties. We go up here. Now we need to edit this. Now you can give it a different name instead of basic. You can say like Japanese dramas. Who cares? Is this the name of this type of deck? Tags. Instead of basic, what I use, I put Japanese. This is very important. Put Japanese in the tags. And I also put subs to SRS. If there has to be additional tags, I'm not sure, and I apologize. Minimum spacing 1.0, spacing multiplier 0.1. Um, this has to deal with if you got cards that are the same type of facts. They're going off the same type of facts where to present it. So you got a fact. Let's say you're going from kana to kanji, but you also got a card that goes from kanji to kana. They're both the same fact, so you don't want to review them back to back if they happen to come up. So this spaces them out just a little. Next thing we got are fields. Okay, fields are not too difficult. Here are the fields I'm going to say to use. You're going to need about 6 of them. So change the front to notes for right now. Change the back. Change that to audio. Okay. Now you see that. Now we're going to add. We want this field to be image. That's your image file. Your next thing. This is very important. Expression. Most of the plugins utilize for Japanese utilize the field for expression. This is the one they're looking for if they're going to do readings or if they're going to count kanji or a number of other things. Same thing here is reading. Next field, reading. This is where if you create an expression and you want to then generate furigana, this is where this creation is going to go. So we'll add that. Next field, vocabulary. I just recently added this, but my idea was like if you're learning a sentence and you want to, you're only adding the sentence because it's a new vocabulary word. I'll show this in the next field, but it has to deal with going into this field. So this would be vocabulary or expression. Vocabulary or an expression. Okay, last one, definitions. This is when you got words or phrases and you want to give explanations to the sentence that you're learning. This is where the information will go. And this should show up in your answer field. Alright, so that's right there. Those are all the fields, 7 fields. Now we need to set up how this. Now also if you look up here, media URL. I'm not going to go into it right now, but if you learn how to use Dropbox or some other online site where you can store these image and audio files, this is where Anki will then look for it. Let's say if you're using Anki Online or using Anki Mobile, it will look for it at this site and download the information so you can use it on the go when you're not at your computer. Okay, card templates. Okay, so we got 2 card templates. What I'd like to do, use first note I use is I think reading itself. This is now when I say reading, what it would be is it's as if I'm watching a TV show. It's going to show the sentence and it's going to show the image. It's going to say the audio. It's almost like I'm watching it off the TV show with subtitles going. Just to speed up things, this is what I'm going to do. I've already saved what I would like in this field, so I'm going to copy this right here, images. Usually what it does is it's the parentheses, or I'm sorry, percentage and parentheses, the name of the field with the end it with the parentheses s, and then it'll show that. So that's telling you where to get the field. And this BR brackets enclosed, that just means it's a return. So it just means on the next line you'll see this expression, which is the sentence. That's really nothing complicated. Whoop. Next thing I want to do, get this line, and I'm going to put this in the answer field. Copy, paste. Alright, now if I wanted to, I could say you could type in the answer here and have it match up with something. That's useful depending on how you do it. It slows you down, but there is some use to it. Hide the question when showing the answer if you want to. I don't know the main reason. Allow the answer to be blank. Keep that clicked. Oh, let's go back to the general field, by the way. Take a look at all these. Prevent duplicates, allow duplicate entries. Just unclick those. Just for right now, because there's going to be some things that are going to be the same. I don't want you to be interfering with you for right now. So that's the reading field. This one now I want is the vocabulary field. We're going to just say vocabulary. The idea with this is, okay, I wanted to test what I was finding out is like on some words I was studying the sentence because it had a new vocabulary word. And I just found out just by showing the picture and the sentence, it was giving away what the meaning of the word was, but I didn't really know what the word was without that. So I decided to start testing on that. So here's what I've done. Copy, paste. Now I called it vocabulary, so I'm going to delete that for you. Okay, so it should be vocabulary right there. And for the answer, copy, paste. Okay, So we have this set up. I'm going to end it right here, so I'll do a set 8.5 later because we're at 10 minutes, and we'll continue on from there. Well, anyway, we'll close this out, it will save it. We'll be getting into how to add materials. All right, thank you, and see you on 8.5.